Friends, our prelude this morning is Keep a Song in Your Soul by Mamie Smith, First Lady of the Blues. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. My name is Renee Jansky, and I'm your music director here. Welcome to this morning. Welcome to this day and this opportunity to be together in community, which is a time of joy, comfort, learning, spiritual growth, and gratitude. This Unitarian Universalist congregation is a place where we come to learn more about being human. We're not here because we figured out all of life's questions or because we think we've got it right. We come here to learn more about being in relationship together, how to listen, how to forgive, how to be vulnerable without breaking, how to be thankful, and how to create trust and compassion as a family, our family, this UUFF family. If you're interested in getting involved in any of the programs here at UUFF, me or Jory or any of the leadership would love to direct you to the right place. Unitarian Universalism is a religious, liberal tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of our interconnections to each other, to all of life, and to the universe in which we exist. UUs choose to affirm love and hope as we journey together in community. And so we welcome you, whoever you are in this moment, and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. We're so glad you've chosen to be with us today. Please don't hesitate to ask greeters or ushers for assistance if you have any questions, need hearing assistance, or would like to fill out a visitor card. If you have joys and concerns you wish to share, you are welcome to fill out a yellow Joys and Concerns card. That will be for our minister or caring team. You can find one of those in the seat backs in front of you, or raise your hand and an usher will help you out. Today, we will not be having a separate time for Joys and Concerns. Please drop those into the offering baskets when it's time. I'd like to remind you to please turn off all cell phone sounds and other devices at this time. We are a fellowship of action and activities. Upcoming events and activities may be found in the weekly email or on our website, and Jules will highlight a few of those at the end of service. Let's move into today's service with a heart for learning. Willing to be authentic with each other, honest with ourselves, and opening to connection in all its forms. And now I get to do something very special. I get to introduce you to my best friend, Jory Costello. Most of you already know who Jory is. She's one of our fabulous accompanists here at UUFF, and she was in a band with me called Big Bad Gina. And we toured the country for almost a decade. Jory is one of the finest musicians I have ever known. She is a skilled guitarist and drummer, a brilliant songwriter and vocalist, a consummate professional both on the road and here at UUFF. And her heart and her life's work is bent towards justice. These are just some of the reasons I was so excited when she accepted one of the accompanist positions here at UUFF. She researches her work. She's not only learning our hymnals rapidly, she also looks up the background on the hymns and topics presented to her. Jory's been a musician since she was a toddler. Music lives in Jory. I'm a lucky duck to have been making music with her since 2009, and we will all be enriched to hear from her today. Did you know that Fayetteville has a local radio station, a public radio station called KPSQ.org? It's 97.3 on the dial, and Jory has a show on KPSQ called Go Sister Go. It showcases women's voices, and it's on Fridays at 3 p.m. It airs Fridays at 3 p.m. I look forward to it every week, and if I don't get to listen, I go back to the online archives of KPSQ and listen there. Why? Because I learn so much about music. Last February, she did 3 shows about black women music pioneers, and they were amazing, awesome. And I knew that you needed to know about this. We UUs want the whole story about history, not just what some folks want to tell us. And I could literally go on for an entire hour about how incredible Jory Costello is, but without further ado, let's move into today's service, Black Women Music Pioneers. We will start this with our introduction. Jory.
I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all look different from over here. Oh, thanks, Renee. Yeah, I usually stand over there behind an instrument, and I will again today, but I am so honored to give today's message about a subject I am so passionate about. So I'm just going to jump right in with an intro, and then I'll come back and tell you all about it. So we've come to know February as Black History Month. It's only 1 month out of the year. It's not long enough. It's not often enough. It's not thorough enough. It's surely not equal enough. Why is it so important that we keep talking about Black history? Because we cannot just ignore the fact that for over 245 years, this country enslaved people of color. Despicable and horrible beyond words. But y'all, it's only been a little over 155 years since slavery has been abolished. 2019 marked 400 years since the beginning of it all. And although much progress has been made, the root causes are still very much active. The systems and institutions that quietly allow and even legally allow racism, discrimination, and disenfranchisement to continue are why we still must keep talking about it and why we cannot rest. Because it's still not equal. It's still despicable and horrible. How did Black people survive in this country at all? I can only imagine it was because of faith and music. Faith in a higher power, faith in an unconditional love, faith that somehow there could be a better life, or at least the promise of an afterlife. Just about the only form of expression to convey all this was music. Songs known as field hollers or work songs were one way enslaved people endured the hardships and the abuse, the unspeakable conditions and situations. And through the genre of gospel music, those songs eventually led to the musical creations of blues and jazz in the mid-1860s, as finally, slowly, word spread that slavery had officially ended. And as things started to shift from slavery to a semblance of freedom, the Reconstruction era followed, and things in the South did thrive for Black people, but only for about 12 years. And as the protective measures that were put in place were removed, more violence towards Black people started up again, and with a vengeance. And over the next few decades, many Black people chose to move out of the South and move to more urban areas like Memphis, St. Louis, Chicago, LA. But the biggest of these migrations was to Harlem, New York. And this became known as the Harlem Renaissance. Starting in 1910 and lasting until the mid-1930s, the development of the Harlem neighborhood became a Black intellectual and cultural mecca of the early 20th century. The literature, music, stage performance, and art that was created gave these Black artists control over and pride in their intellectual and artistic expression and how the Black experience was represented in American culture. And it set the stage for the civil rights movement a couple decades later. It is this time period of the Harlem Renaissance that the foremothers of modern music emerge. The mother of the blues, blues and jazz queens, ladies and empresses, R&B mamas, and the godmother of rock and roll. They established the musical genres of all the kinds of blues, jazz, swing, and big band, and this music gained worldwide prominence and left an undeniable legacy on American culture. These women were in their prime and in their spotlight and the first to make blues recordings. And yet, still, they experienced so many hardships. The first hymn we're going to sing today talks about some of the hardships that Black people continue to endure and why we must not rest.
And now for our chalice lighting with Jules Taylor.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jules. Please speak the words with me as we say this to create our unity to continue our amazing service this morning. And before we begin, actually, I'm going to activate the singing bowl for just a moment, and I would love for us to just listen. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in truth, and to love one another. Thus do we covenant together.
Our opening hymn today is not in your hymnal, but we would really love for you to sing the chorus with us. And the words to the chorus are, "We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes." That's the truth, right? All rise as you are willing in body or spirit.
Here we go. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Until the killing of black men, black mother sons is as important as the killing of white men, white mother sons. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. No, no. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. That which touches me most is that I have a chance to work with people, passing on to others that which was passed on to me.
Everyone.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. No, no. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. To me, young people come first.
They come first.
They have the courage where we fail. And if I could but shed some light as they carry us through the gale. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. No, 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 no. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. The older I get, the better I know that the secret of my going on is when the reins are in the hands of the young who dare to run against the storm. We who believe in freedom cannot rest.
until it comes. George.
Not needing to clutch for power, not needing the light just to shine on me. I need to be one in the number as we stand against tyranny.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest.
No, no.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes.
Struggling myself don't mean a whole lot. I've come to realize that teaching others to stand and fight is the only way our struggle survives.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest.
No, no.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes.
I'm a woman who speaks in a voice, and I must be heard. At times I can be quite difficult. How about no man's word? We who believe in freedom cannot rest. No, 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 no. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Do it again, do it again. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Big ending. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Ow!
Oh, thank you, Jory. Thank you. And now for our message.
Double tasking today. Good singing, y'all. Yeah. Yeah. That's Dr. Bernice Johnson Regan, oh, by the way, of Sweet Honey in the Rock. The women we're talking about today, the four mothers of modern music, were born in the 1880s and early 1900s. The country was still very much segregated. Black people lived with extreme discrimination in extreme poverty with no formal education. Most of the women from this era had to start working as early as 6 years old. Many girls found work in the different vaudeville acts and traveling tent shows as chorus singers and dancers. The first to rise to prominence is Ma Rainey, born Gertrude Melissa Nix Pridgett, who started performing as a teenager. Rainey was known for her powerful, deep voice with a moaning style of singing. And she was very flashy and energetic. She had a mesmerizing stage presence and drew packed audiences. She's known for bridging the traditions of vaudeville performance with authentic Southern blues. And she may have even claimed the term blues when she was asked what kind of songs she was singing. And unlike many singers of the day, she wrote her own songs, and they reflected the experiences as an independent, openly bisexual African-American woman, including what has become known as the first queer anthem, Prove It On Me Blues. It's still sung by many artists today. In fact, many in the genre of hip-hop give Ma Rainey credit for her bold, unafraid, unashamed songwriting and delivery. Even though Ma Rainey is considered the mother of the blues, with over 100 blues recordings selling millions, the very first blues recording was by Mamie Smith, a song called Crazy Blues in 1920. It earned her the title the First Lady of the Blues, sold over 1 million copies in less than a year, and it represents the emergence of black female singers into popular music culture. Her recordings have been selected by the Library of Congress for cultural and historical preservation. And for the prelude, you heard a 1929 recording by Mamie Smith, Keep a Song in Your Heart. No relation to Bessie Smith, who started busking on the street corners for pennies with her brother after their parents died. She was probably around 6 or 7 years old. And she made her first public theater appearance when she was just 8. And she developed her style and stage presence in Ma Rainey's troupe, the Rabbitfoot Minstrels. Bessie Smith was considered the empress of the blues and became the most popular and highest paid blues singer in the 1930s. She was known for her rich contralto voice and her breathtaking, raw emotional intensity. She chose songs about the classic subjects of the blues: poverty, oppression, love either betrayed or unrequited. And her art expressed the frustrations and hopes of a whole generation of Black Americans. Her first of over 160 recordings was in 1923, Downhearted Blues, and sold over 2 million copies. She died in her prime in 1937 in a car accident. Her death could have been prevented if she had been allowed to be treated at the White Hospital. Instead, she had to wait for the Black ambulance to take her to the Black hospital, which was much further away, and she died there from her injuries. And what's even more deplorable, she was buried in an unmarked grave, which I found all too common for the times. And it wasn't until 1970 that Janis Joplin and a former employee of Bessie Smith, Juanita Green, bought a tombstone for Bessie Smith's grave with the epithet, "The greatest blues singer in the world will never stop singing." And it wasn't until a 2013 crowd-funded effort that a 4-foot monument was created for the unmarked grave of Mamie Smith. So this would be a good time for a depressing song by Bessie Smith. Let's listen to "Nobody Knows You When You're..." Bessie Smith. So, as the blues and jazz scene took hold, don't you know, many businesses and record companies capitalized on this new genre, further exploiting Black female singers. One of the most well-known of these businesses was called TOBA, Theater Owners Booking Association. But among the performers, it became known as Tough on Black Artists. The competition at that time to get booked on the touring circuit did indeed become tough. And it was Ida Cox who made herstory by forming her own business and becoming one of the first Black independent businesswomen owning and managing her own traveling tent show, Raising Cane. And it lasted for a decade. And she also developed her stage presence and style in Ma Rainey's troupe. And like Ma Rainey, she was one of the few female blues singers of the time who wrote her own songs. Her topics, such as female independence, sexual liberation, and the social realities and political struggles of Black Americans from a female perspective, became her trademark. Like her feminist anthem, "Wow, the women don't get the blues." And she's known as the uncrowned queen of the blues. So the scene in Harlem during this time is best illustrated with Lil Hardin, jazz pianist, composer, arranger, singer, and band leader, eventually leading an all-girl orchestra. Her song, "Harlem on Saturday Night," sums up what it must have been like and felt like in the clubs during the peak of the Harlem Renaissance. Let's roll that song.
The mugs are a muggin', there's never a cop in sight. You can see most any old thing chicks are chicken, the pickpocket picking. When they pick you right. You can see most any old thing in Harlem on Saturday night. Hot spots are never cold, piccolos are thumping. No matter where you go, every joint is jumping. Now all the sugar hillers are a bunch of killer dillers. I'm trying to set you right. You can see most any old thing in Harlem on Saturday night. Hot spots are never cold, piccolos are thumping. No matter where you go, every joint is jumping. Now all the sugar hillers are a bunch of killer dillers. I'm trying to set you right. You can do most any old thing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but mostly on Saturday night.
Now you might get a feeling of why I'm so excited about this music. Get you jumping. And it was the first of its kind. There are so many notable women from this time period. I wish I could include them all. I wish I could elaborate more because there's so much more. And there's so much more that we'll never know. Along with the social and cultural expression of the Harlem Renaissance, there was a good amount of sexual liberation as well. It can be heard in many of the songs at the time. And one woman who embodies all of this is Gladys Bentley. Born in 1907, she started performing as a teenager, and she made herstory in Harlem as a lesbian cross-dresser performer backed by a line of drag queens. And she flirted with the women in the audience, and she sang about her female lovers and bull daggers. We say butches now. She was a fierce piano player. And she had the best growling, trumpety vocals I've ever heard. But after the scene declined in Harlem in the mid-30s, she relocated to California and cleaned up her act and was known as America's greatest sepia piano player and the brown bomber of sophisticated songs. But Bentley remains an inspiration in the LGBT community and with African Americans in the way she exerted her black female butchness and the way she troubled the distinctions between black and white and feminine and masculine. If there was any performer I could have seen during this time, it would be Gladys Bentley. And although her career spanned for well over 40 years, including TV appearances, I couldn't find any recordings of her time in Harlem. And she was forced to adapt to the times, and so to save her career, she married and started wearing dresses and said that she was cured from the new label of homosexuality. Yeah, there, boo. Well, there is a current female hip-hop artist who has dedicated a whole album to Gladys Bentley, thanking her for her legacy, stating that Gladys went back into the closet so we wouldn't have to. Another first is Victoria Spivey, known as Queen Victoria. Her career also spanned 40 years, including film, theater, TV, a European tour, and she was the first black woman to make her own record label, Spivey Records, in 1961. And one of the first things she did with her label was to collaborate with other surviving blues women of the time to record the album Songs We Taught Your Mother. And here's her version of the Arkansas Blues.
Blues have overtaken me. I'm so weary, days are full of gloom. Homesickness have got me down in mind. Way down in old Arkansas, in old Dixie, my log cabin home, where the hometown folks are good and kind. I find I'm on the right track. I've got my trunk packed, and I have asked the good Lord to take the train back that's heading south and taking me to Dardanella. Ain't got no time to lose. I'm tired of roaming. I'm tired of roaming. I long to see my mother and my home in old log cabin land way down in the dale. I've got the Arkansas blues. I've got the Arkansas blues. I'm on the right track. I've got my trunk packed, and I have asked the good Lord to take the train back that's heading south and taking me to Dardanella. Ain't got no time to lose. I'm tired of roaming. I'm tired of roaming. I long to see my mother and my home in all our cabin land way down in the dale. I've got the Arkansas blues. Got the Arkansas blues.
Yeah. Queen Victoria. Y'all, I'd like to thank a moment to thank Tressa Disney for making these women pop on the big screen. It's so nice. Your work every week, every slide is so lovely. Thank you so much for all your work. Well, you'll hear again and again how these women have won awards and recognition, been inducted into the various halls of fame, had monuments and stars created in their honor, historical markers placed, etc. But none of them ever knew it. None of them knew the legacy that they left. However, there have been several plays, movies, documentary films, and radio shows made in their honor to share their stories and protect their legacies. They are the foremothers of modern music as we know it. And all of this music led directly to rock and roll, and the rest is history. Or in this case, herstory. Speaking of rock and roll, I got to go a little bit further because this message cannot go without mentioning Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Ow! I learned about Sister Rosetta right here in this building thanks to one of our guest speakers, Raven Cook. Sister Rosetta Tharpe is hands down the godmother of rock and roll. Her song, Strange Things Happening Every Day, has been noted by scholars as the first rock and roll song ever. Born in Arkansas in 1915, Sister Rosetta is considered the original soul sister. With her spiritual lyrics and rockin' electric guitar, she was the first to use heavy guitar distortion, giving rise to the subgenre electric blues. Sister Rosetta Tharpe is celebrated as a woman who broke every norm. She was a gospel singer at heart, who became a celebrity by forging a new musical path. A queer woman who toured with her female lover, only marrying for public appearances. And she was a fearless black artist who was in love with crafting that new sound. And while she has historically been overlooked in rock and roll history, she has just recently and rightfully been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2018 by Alabama Shakes lead singer Brittany Howard, also an openly queer African-American woman. Through her unforgettable voice and gospel swing crossover style, Sister Rosetta influenced generations of musicians in this country and in Europe, including Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, Prince, and countless others. Her career spanned over 4 decades, and she was and is an unmatched artist. Another example of how black women musicians were overlooked and discredited for their work is the story of Big Mama Thornton. Born Willie Mae Thornton in 1926. That's younger than my grandma, y'all. R&B singer, songwriter, drummer, and an amazing harmonica player. It was Big Mama Thornton who did the first recordings of the song Hound Dog in 1952, which began as an anthem of black female power, selling over 2 million copies, which made her a star, and she received very little profit from it. And in fact, the record companies then changed the song, added a rabbit, and gave it to Elvis. Big Mama Thornton also wrote the song Ball and Chain and also received no profits from it. Although she loved the fact that Janis Joplin sang her song and made it famous. And so Janis Joplin arranged for Big Mama Thornton to open for her in her shows while she could. And like Janis Joplin, Big Mama Thornton was deeply influenced by Bessie Smith. Big Mama Thornton has also been inducted into the Blues and Rock and Roll Halls of Fame, and her songs have been said to have shaped rock and roll as we know it. Don't you know it? And in 2004, the nonprofit Willie Mae Rock Camp for Girls was founded in her honor to offer a musical education for girls 8 to 18. There are so many more women of color, people of color, who have shaped this world around us and continue to do so. We cannot let this history be buried or written over. We cannot rest until their stories and their voices are heard. Let's sing this next hymn full of faith and hope in their honor. And thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Jory. This next piece is a challenging one. It's hymn number 149, Lift Every Voice and Sing. This is considered to be the Black National Anthem, the traditional Black National Anthem. It comes from, it has God language in it. This song is not ours, friends. This is a song that was lent to us. The first 3 verses were lent to us by Black community. And so we get to sing with our Black brothers and sisters and siblings this Black National Anthem. We do this in honor. It's a challenging song. It's high. It's hard. Let's sing our faces off. All rise as you're able. forgot where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed by me, thy hand may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. You may be seated. Thank you.
That was good, y'all.
It's a hard one, right? It's a hard song. Thanks for singing so well. Jules will extinguish our chalice.
Thank you for such a great service, Joy, Renee, everybody. We're going to extinguish the chalice, so please say the words aloud with me if you would like. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And I have a few announcements I wanted to read, please. Offering. Is that me? We're going to do an offering, and as in life, any group that you're part of, any kind of support that you can do to help would be wonderful. We're also going to collect some joys and concerns cards, so if you want to take this moment to fill those out, that would be great, and we'll collect those in just a moment. We're passing the basket around. If you are so inclined and have means to put in something monetarily, that is wonderful. But we also thank you so much for your participation and the energy that you create. And we have a lot of service opportunities through the UU. And as Renee mentioned earlier, if you're wanting to get involved in any of that, please talk to any of us that you see. Are you doing choice and concern? So if you have...
Thanks, Jules. So at the top of the hour, I mentioned the timeline of this message regarding Black history and how it's only been just a little over 155 years since slavery was abolished. That's only 7 or 8 generations, y'all. It's not been that long. And as we know, it just led to Jim Crow segregation laws, which has turned into systemic racism, discrimination, and disenfranchisement, directly impacting generations of people of color since, and directly leading to the inequality in all the government institutions: finance, education, healthcare, the criminal justice system, marriage, and the family, even despite the civil rights movement. Because the same systems and institutions that enabled slavery are the same systems and institutions that are still active today. That is the root cause of the racial tensions in this country. And those same institutions are making sure we're not able to pass on this information to future generations. As we just found out this week, the Arkansas Senate just passed the bill prohibiting the teaching of critical race theory in our schools. Boo. If we do not know the root causes of racism, we cannot work to change it. So one way the UUA Association as a whole hopes to effect change in the world is by adding and teaching an 8th principle to the covenantal agreements. The 8th principle will affirm and promote journeying toward a spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse and multicultural beloved community. by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions. I can only imagine that people of color have survived in this country because of faith and music. We cannot forget what they had to endure. We cannot forget why. And we cannot let others take credit for their work. Let's remember these women's names and their contributions to this country's culture and the influence they've had on music worldwide. So before we head off to coffee and social time, let's listen, let's enjoy, and if you're so moved, let's dance to Sister Rosetta Tharpe, where we can hear and feel the faith in her music. Joy in this land. And let's roll it twice.